Good morning. Happy Hump Day. This is the A-List Morning Show with Erin and Shay, the Redhead Diva, on A-List Jams Radio, where we jam over 30 years of R&B and hip-hop. Do you know what time it is? Because I know what time it is, and I'm excited about it. But before we get into it, we like to say good morning and shout out to Motor City Woman. They are broadcasting us live to their hundreds of thousands of listeners, and we appreciate you so much. And while you're on the way to work, it's time to talk to the Twin Flame Coalition, because they got all the answers for you for your relationships. And y'all know how I likes to get it in with these lovely people. And here they are. What's up? How y'all doing this morning?
So good. How you doing?
Good. Introduce yourself to the people.
We are Shelby and Hassani Ali, founders of Twin Flame Coalition. It is our mission to restore your relationships to the most optimum level.
There we go. That's what I love. And this is a beautiful married couple that we like to get it in with every week, every Wednesday. They like to take me to the test and tell people what I'm doing crazy. It's always something, but we're going to jump right into it. So this week, y'all have a great topic for us about our relationships.
Yes, the topic is, who should you talk to about your relationship?
Okay. And in regards to who you should talk to, you're saying as far as God, as far as people? What are y'all talking about?
No, basically everyone needs someone to keep us accountable in our relationships. Everyone has rough patches in their relationships where they need either advice or they need to rant or they just need something to get off their chest. They need one or two responsible people they can go to for viable solutions rather than just, sputtering off at the mouth because you don't know how that person's going to react, what kind of impression your significant other's going to leave on that person. So if you have someone who knows what's going on both sides, they can make a fair judgment to say, hey, he was wrong or she was wrong, y'all both wrong. You're getting a corrective guidance rather than just gossip and, stirring up emotions. And that's where, people tend to, sway a particular type of way. And some people have even gotten hurt or even gotten killed based on someone's emotions and not knowing the other side of the story. So you got to have one or two people responsible for your relationship that you can go to.
So when you say have one or two people responsible for your relationship, who are you thinking that you should talk to, like a pastor or you all?
Oh, we're pretty great. We're pretty good
Not
at
to toot our own horn.
But twinflamecoalition.com if you're looking for someone to talk to.
Right.
But a pastor and priest are excellent choices because if you I said pastors and
pretend like they're not there. Come on, talk to me.
Pastors and priests are excellent resources if you believe strongly enough in your faith. They are guiders of that faith, so they're the great person to kind of keep you on track with your own moral values. What you don't want to do is run to Pookie, Ray Ray, your mama, and your auntie who never had a successful relationship in their life and go and talk about, hey, my man is doing this wrong. Well, you should leave him. You should run. You should do this. Let's pause. Let's stop. We need people who are going to hold us accountable for our actions and give us a plan, a strategy in order to really transform your relationship.
So when you're talking about a pastor or a preacher, is that somebody that you've already built? You have to have already built a relationship with them people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're going into the confession booth and you don't know who on the other side of the door.
Look.
I'm just saying. I mean, I want to make sure that I don't want to be pastor somebody that's cheating on their wife and they don't know what they got going on.
That's true.
I'm just saying.
You want to be able to trust the person, people who are going to be completely open with you. Like, well, I had these issues too, and I know you can overcome it because I've overcome it. But where people get messed up, because we've noticed this with a lot of our clients, we kind of had to reel in. They're like, well, I don't want to talk to you because I don't know you. It's like, okay, let's get to know each other. I already know what I'm doing. I already saved my marriage. I'm good. So why don't we get to know each other? Because that's a cop-out, in my opinion, is when I've seen that a lot. I've seen that more in men than women who say, well, I don't know you. Our kids aren't the same age. You're younger than me, this, that, and the other. And you have a lot of reasons why you won't go talk to someone about your relationship. But you'll go run around, talk to your boy who's been divorced, got 3 baby mamas about your relationship, but you won't go talk to professionals because you're not comfortable.
But do you feel that when you come up against something like that, do you feel that it's still a it takes time for you to trust someone, okay? So when you're sitting up there talking to the gentleman that maybe don't want to talk to you because they're trying to get to know you, do you think that it's easier for you to say that you worked out your marriage? You got a lot of different personalities that you can deal with when you're trying to counsel these people. So when you're trying to get to know this person, they think that, yeah, it's cool, you worked out your marriage, but that's just you. This a whole set of other personalities. How do you work through those?
Well, I mean, and she's talking in regards to professionals. If you need someone that both of you can go to, whether it's a trusted elder, whether it's another married couple, you just need someone that you have trust in. It's different with professionals because you have to get to know us. Usually, one person or the other has sought out our help, and they trust in us. You have to get the other person to jump on board. And so, if you're not looking for professional help, then you have to find a trusted elder, hopefully a relative that can see both sides of the story, just someone that that will be fair down the middle.
Right.
So that's the most important thing. Or a couple that's going to be fair down the middle. You can come with them with any solution, and they'll look at both sides and be able to make a fair judgment, like a judge.
So when you said that they come to you and then they bring the other person, is that because you've already built a relationship with the one person?
Like I said, for professional help, someone will call us and say, "Hey, I like what you're doing. I need help with my relationship." Okay, cool. So they've already, seen what we've done, and so they're willing to come to us for help. But they didn't tell the spouse or the significant other that they've reached out to us. They're just like, "Hey, let's go to counseling." And typically, the reason why the men usually don't do it is because the women will seek help faster than the men will.
Right.
And typically in modern day counseling, men are always going to look at it like, here's the list of things that I'm not doing.
Right.
It's never balanced as far as, what's going on in a relationship, because typically most women are going to be your therapist or your counselor, and they typically tend to go to the side of the woman, so men feels like he have no representation in the counseling, and it's just like, what am I doing? All the list of things that I'm doing wrong.
So when you do have a woman that come to you all and say, "Hey, I want to come to counseling," do the men? So you said they must not tell the men, otherwise they would feel like you're there for the woman that you're not even playing field. Do you guys feel that? Do you get that a lot?
They do it in their way, like. If a woman is hurt, she's going to reach out for help.
Right. She
will reach out to us and say, "I'm hurt. I'm feeling this way. I don't feel like I'm happy. I don't feel like he's happy. We're not working."
Right.
We talk to her. We realize in order to fix the relationship, we got to get you both on the phone.
Get to talk to him too. Yeah.
So based on the person, we're like, okay, here's how you get him on the phone with us, and we got it from there.
Gotcha.
Do not walk up to him and say, "Here's some counselors."
Right.
Talk to him on the phone. That's a terrible idea. You're not going to get anywhere.
Right.
But based on the type of man you're dealing with, we will walk you through and say, "Here's how you're going to do this." Because as soon as we get them on the phone, we got them.
But most men's ego, they don't want to do counseling.
Absolutely
they feel like I'm not a sicko. I'm not a psycho. What I need to do counseling for? How do you transition a man into feeling comfortable with you to talk to you when
you put a man on the phone?
You put a man with the man.
You have to be like, look, I understand that you have some rough patches, and I'm not saying that we're perfect, but a lot of times they just as soon as they know they have a listening ear, you got them.
You.
All you have to do is you have to slowly pry him in a little bit, like what's going on? How's she treating you? Are you happy? Are you sure? You kind of have to have that, that male conversation in order to say, hey, what's the issue? And as soon as they spill it out and they know that you're listening for real, they'll come right on board.
Mm-hmm.
That's 9 times out of 10, or usually you still have some stubbornness going on, and you have to still work them in.
There's always going to be stubbornness.
There's always going to be stubbornness, especially when the finance part kicks in. But usually as soon as we get to their boiling points or hot spots, and we start to tackle those and say, what's going on in your opinion, and we validate those opinions and listen, that's when it's typically like, okay, I have a voice in this, in this relationship, and I can go to these two and battle my concerns because someone's actually listening.
So if you're just tuning in really quickly, we are here with Twin Flame Coalition today, and the topic is who do you talk to about your relationships with? And you are stating now to pretty much go to someone that will have the best interest in heart for both parties. Right. So someone like a counselor, someone like a pastor or a preacher, or you all, for instance,
right?
Because you're successful in it.
Exactly.
So how bad does it go when they talk to family members or they talk to a girlfriend that's had 3 baby daddies and 4 baby mamas and all this other stuff? How bad when they talk to their homeboys and their homeboys that slept with Susie, Gina, Tamika, and Ray Ray? You know what I'm saying? They on both sides of the field.
That's a mixed group.
Right.
Yeah, it'd be like that.
But no, but the thing is that when you're talking to one of your friends, it's emotionally driven. It's she's getting on my nerves. He's doing this to me. All the time we've been in a relationship, he's doing this or she's doing that. So that friend is getting a compiled list of all the bad things that they've done, and they're not getting the good side. So the next time I see that significant other, they already have a preconceived notion about them, or they have a different perception about them the next time they come around, and so their judgment of them is tainted because you're not giving them the good side. You're only giving them the trifling side because you're not you're only
it's not the full story.
It's not the full story, absolutely. And so we have even had friends like that where we had one particular situation where we had a friend who was going through a serious situation, and the two were together, but the mom was jumping on the man, and the friends were jumping on the man, and the guy was just cornered. It was just like, where's my side of the fight? And it was just, they kept hearing all the bad things about him, but at the same time it was like, you chose to be with him, so he can't be all that bad.
Right. Well, people change.
Absolutely. I'm just saying, but
absolutely.
But I'm saying it was just that, they were together for so long, but at the same time, it was like, you want to keep complaining. It's either, are you going to take action, or do you just want to complain?
Exactly.
Because they need to know the difference so they can know how to
handle the
situation when you come to them.
Like even, just my mother, I go to my mother sometimes just to talk to her, and she's like, are you trying to solve a problem right now?
Or you just want to vent?
Or do you want to vent? I'm here either way, but I just need to know what you're trying to do.
So is that important to know what are you trying to do when you go to that person? I mean, is that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, you need people to vent to. You absolutely need people to vent and release all your anguish and things like that. Where you get messed up is, like my husband was saying, you only talk about the negative sides of one person. So you get what you put into the universe. So you get what you give out. If all you're doing is talking about the negative, that's all that's going to stay there. That's all that's going to happen. So even when we talk to our people about our relationships, like, we're frustrated right now, but let me just say this. We know we want to be married. We know we love each other. But right now we are frustrated with this particular situation.
Right.
So that way we know how to handle the situation.
So what if you have a person that you can vent to that's not a preacher, not a pastor, or what have you, and they are like, I'm one of those girlfriends, when one of my girlfriends come and preach to me or talk to me about their situation, I really do say, okay, well, what did you do? I am so even like that. I'm like, you're not perfect. Like, what's going on with you too?
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
And some people aren't that balanced, because if you have a best friend of 10, 15 years, you're automatically going to take their side. You know what I mean? Actually, I saw a meme last night on Instagram, and there was a thing that went viral. The story basically went, a college girl got cheated on by her boyfriend. So the girlfriend called the mom. And the boy's mother basically cut off all the support that she was giving him, paying this his phone bill, credit card, car payment. So she took all those things away from him and took the woman out on a pedicure, and it was a hashtag consequences. And everyone was sending it around. It's like, people should be accountable for the actions, but at the same time it was like, was it mom's job to step in? You never got the man side of the story. She just went and told and said he did this, and she took action without seeing the other side of the story.
Wow. Yeah, you gotta have both sides. I don't think that's. I mean, don't get me wrong. We all want to be defensive for that person and protect that person.
Yeah, you definitely want to be defensive. I mean, there definitely has to be a trial period to say, what happened? Is this true? What happened? Because you don't know what she could have done to have triggered him. But everyone's so caught up in the mom stepping in and taking away, her support system for the boy, wherever he was going to school. And it was just like, y'all really don't see, this is only trending because it favors your situation or what you wish would have happened to you while you were in the situation. But it's like, y'all not seeing this down the middle. And that's the issue with our relationships when we go to other people, is that we have to know whether you're going to rant or you're looking for a solution, because your friends will also look at you crazy if you complain. But every time you go, and then you go back, like, you must be just as crazy as they are, because you're not leaving.
Right. And then after a while, I'm one of those friends that after a while, I will listen. Don't talk to me about it if you're not going to change it or if you're not going to fix it. Whatever.
Exactly.
And plus, at some point, you have to go back and talk to your spouse, your significant other, so they can know what you're complaining about. Like, you need to have a sit down situation and say, these are my concerns. These are my concerns.
But people don't always know how to do that.
That's true too. The anger kind of builds up over there, right?
And that's how that anger gets built up, is because they go and they vent and then they just let all that emotion out. Then they go home like, I'm not even mad anymore, I'm good. And when that situation comes up again, you don't know how to deal with it. You need to go talk to trained professionals or people who have been through this enough times that they can walk you through it.
Okay.
Right.
Walk me through this.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
Y'all ready? Look,
Okay.
look at Shelby.
Okay.
Give me an example when either you were mad at Shelby or Shelby was mad at you, and how you guys corrected. How did you figure it out? And I want this in one of your earlier stages, and I want one in your later stages of not later stages, but as you guys develop on. So in the beginning, if you were mad at him, how did you fix it, or how did you deal with it? Was you just like, oh, just give me a minute, I'm gonna rip into him, or how did you handle it?
When I was mad,
yeah, give me a good one. I want a good one because
I honestly, I'm not going to put you on the spot. It was just one thing that we had to deal with.
I mean, it is what it is.
It is what it is. So when Hassani used to get mad, Hassani would leave.
Okay, yeah, I've had that happen.
Oh my gosh!
My notes right now. They will leave. I'm like, where you going? You got to talk about this right now.
Yes.
Okay.
And he would
let me
get
write my notes right now.
this one. He would get so frustrated where he would walk out.
Yeah.
He sometimes would tell me where he's going, how long he would be gone.
Yeah. Like, who you going to talk to?
Right.
And what's her name?
It's not even that. It was just like, I want to know.
I'm going extra.
I'm not just saying, like
I want to know you're safe. I want to know that you're coming back.
Yeah.
I want to fix this. And it used to drive me crazy because I would just have to sit in my own stew.
Yeah.
And I would just be like freaking out and not know what to do with myself. Right. And it would drive me crazy. So that used to be a thing we had to deal with. And as we've progressed, if Hassani gets upset, he'll let me know. Like, hey, I'll come back. That's all I needed.
Okay.
I'll come back. I'm going to get something to eat. I'm frustrated. I don't want to talk about it yet. Yeah. So there's a lot more communication now than it was back then.
Right.
How did you get to that point? How did you have to tell
people?
Oh, y'all went to see somebody.
We went to see people.
Okay. so that you had to get the breakdown to figure out what we need to do to figure this out. I need to feel better about him leaving.
Exactly.
And you had to feel like, okay, I need to let her know that I need to leave no matter what, but this is what it is.
At least say where you're going, what you're doing.
All right. So when you got mad at her, that was your thing. You had to, even now. So where we at now? That was in the beginning. Where are we now? When you get mad at her or vice versa, is it something that can be withstood right then and there, and you can deal with it and just say, look, give me 5 minutes. I'm here, but give me 5 minutes. I mean, how does it work out? To be completely honest,
any disagreement that we have usually takes about maybe a couple hours.
Yeah.
Because we have a mission at hand. So if something happens, it's like, it's like, I hate you too. What's for dinner? I'll have it in 10 minutes. You got the kids? Okay.
The kids are fed.
It's just we got so much going on.
Did you write the blog? Did you call our client?
Yeah.
We just have so much going on that, we really don't have time to just sit there and stew it. Like, we got to keep going.
But you got to get back to it. You got to communicate about it.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just an honest,
don't leave it out there.
It's an honest conversation. It's just, you have to be direct and be like, hey, what happened? What did you do wrong? And even if you disagree about it, it's like, I acknowledge
so it don't
how you felt, and I will keep that in mind for future reference.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then, this is a trigger for you.
Right.
Got you. Yeah, that's important to know that your triggers and whatnot. Yeah. And I always, even with my children, and that's another relationship, I tell them I don't want to hear the word hate ever. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, I understand you don't like me right now. I dislike you, whatever, but I don't never want to hear the word hate. It's so strong to me, and that's one of the words. That's one of the words next to the N word that I would not allow in my house. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anything else I can probably deal with, I'll just smack you in your mouth because you cussed or said something inappropriately. But those two words I really just don't allow. So when you go to that extreme, it's like, whoa, okay.
It's like, well, let's just hold on 1 second.
I know that. Okay, let's bring that back. Let's take off these earrings. It's about the time to bring some beat down.
Right.
But to know that you're able to be so at ease with it now, and to know that when confrontation comes, you can handle it. To me, that's everything. To me, that helps you in your to be like zing. You know what I mean?
Right.
To be at calm and at peace. Like, okay, I know we got some issues, but this is how we'll deal with it.
And if there's something we can't solve, then we go to somebody.
We
go to somebody. We I said, we haven't had to use them in a very long time, but we do have that resource to say, hey, we can't figure this out. We'll go here so we can have a presentation, Here's her side. Here's my side.
Right.
They take all the analytics, go down the middle, and say, here's what needs to happen.
So here's my question: when they take your side and take your side, do you go in separate rooms, or
Nope.
do you sit in front of each other
Right.
and lay it out? No matter how bad it is, like you don't ever feel like when you're going through that whole process of talking it out, like, God, that's brutal. Like, he sounds so mean to me.
Oh yeah, I mean, we get in our feelings about it, absolutely. But
Okay.
that's the point of that session.
Get
Is
those
you
feelings.
you need to.
Okay.
You have to get them out. People think, well, men think I'm not supposed to cry. I'm not supposed to be hurt. Women think men aren't supposed to cry or supposed to
No,
be
I
hurt.
think that's healthy. Not per me.
Right? No, there are some.
Yeah.
There are some we have spoken. There are some we have spoken to, but the important thing is to remember, like, you're here to solve a problem.
Mm-hmm.
You're here to fix the issue. You're not going to fix the issue if you're just sitting there quiet.
Yeah. and
You're
keep
not
it all
going to fix
closed
the
in.
issue if you're not being open and honest. You have to be able to lay it all out there on the table. Here are all of my points. Here are all of his points.
Mhm.
And it's up to the other person, the mediators in the room, to look at all the points and say, okay, I know what we need to do now.
Mhm.
And the beautiful thing about it is they can also pry stuff out of you, saying,
Yeah.
hey, this story don't make sense because this is missing. So, hey, you, what's going on?
Mhm.
Or, I don't believe the full story because you're leaving some stuff out.
Mhm.
People who have a listening ear can listen out for those things
Mhm.
so they can get down to the nitty gritty and be able to, get to the root cause of a situation rather than just taking what's on the surface, because sometimes couples are even embarrassed to say what they're going through. So they try to, put everything on the surface and hopefully they can solve it when there's a deeper problem at its core.
And this is actually another point I want to make, because marriage is business. Marriage is a partnership.
Mhm.
And it's very similar to running a business. So we have people we go to and talk about our business with, and we have people we go and talk about our relationship with.
Okay.
But if there was an issue in your business, you're not making the money you want, you're not happy with your product, or you just need a second opinion,
Mhm.
there is someone you would trust, another business advisor who would advise you on how to run your business effectively.
Mhm.
You wouldn't just go run and talk to somebody who's never owned a business before.
Absolutely not.
You would never talk to someone who's never had to pay an employee before. You would never talk to someone who doesn't understand the dynamics of how that needs to work. So why would you do that with your marriage?
You wouldn't. And that's why we got Twin Flame Coalition right here. Each and every Wednesday, make sure you lock into this show, this segment, this time, Twin Flame Coalition. I appreciate you for coming and rocking out with us with this topic. It was everything. Today's topic was, who do you talk to about your relationship? If you missed it, check it out on Facebook. We did broadcast it live on A-List Gems Radio. But how can the people reach you just in case they need to come and talk to you about their relationship?
TwinFlameCoalition.com.
That's easy.
Schedule your transformation session completely free of charge
Oh,
and come
free.
and talk to us. Yes.
They like
come
that.
and-
Free.
Yes,
Free. All right. Make sure you keep it locked in. We got more entertainment news coming up. And also, we got our jammers. Don't forget, it's the A-List Morning Show with Aaron and Shay, the Redhead Diva, on A-List Gems Radio.
The audio.